the different branches in the enterprise. It is first of all, the small bistro, and it is on the other hand side renting a room for conferences in the upstairs, and I've got a kind of workspace or co-working space on the top. And this building is owned by is public owned by Schwerin, by the state, by the city of Schwerin, and I rented for 15 years. 15 years. Yeah.
Is this
And
a popular place?
Pardon?
Is it a popular place?
It depends. So it is less popular than it seems. Today it is market day, okay, but sometimes it is really empty. So we have got some shopping centers, modern shopping centers, some malls here on the right-hand side. They're completely booked, I think, but I don't know for sure. But this place is not so public, crowdly, like it was, I think, 200 years ago or 100 years ago. So I've got some old postcards where it is to be seen how market works, and this is one day a week. This some traders you see here.
Yeah.
This is all. Yeah.
And
But-
how did you happen to, because you said that you were born in Berlin
Yeah.
and then you moved to Schwerin.
Yeah. It was
Why Schwerin?
It was my first employment as an actor.
Here in Schwerin.
Or my second after the studying times, after the university. So that is why I landed here. It was my first job, my first employed job here, and then I met a girl.
Dangerous.
And
We
when
have
you
2
learned-
children.
Okay, I understand.
And now I think I'm settled a little bit, but I don't know for sure. But because I am from Berlin and not from Schwerin original, and I think it is a little bit different. But
But what was then what was your when you got your first job here?
yeah,
What was your first thinking? You know, when you heard that you will come to Schwerin. So what came to my mind? What did you know about Schwerin? What was the image of Schwerin at that time? And also you mentioned that it's a little bit different Schwerin than Berlin. Could you explain us what's the difference for us? What would be the major difference?
sometimes we call it a big village, yeah, and I think it is indeed. How to explain? For an actor, it is very good in the beginning of the career, attending at a theater, a stately run theater for 2 or 5 years, getting practice, getting in the job. So for me it was the best thing that could happen to go on this theater here. But it is not in Berlin, of course. It is has got, I think, 400 or 500 places, seats. But for me it was the right moment. But I know it is not the capital of Germany. I know it is a little bit, how to say, we have got sehr viele Beamte, Verwaltung, a branch of staff, stately run jobs, and this is not a roaring business city. It is.
You have to think about the main place for our mayor. On the government party has for himself 1,000 employees, who are working in the ministries, and then you have for the landscapes government as well, 6 different municipal places where you have again over 2,500 employees there. So the business is not really the main point. We are more a government city.
Biggest
What's the
business
population
in
of Schwerin?
100,000 approximately. Good morning. 100,000, but I think, of course, the government gives the most of the money and the most of the Angestellten, Arbeitsplätze, employees, and then I think it is health, hospital, a big hospital that is here, and then it is the biggest. Is I think in Firma, scheiße, oh, guten Morgen.
Deutsche Bahn ist die größte.
Nee, inzwischen ist Ypsomed.
Über 1.500 hat die Deutsche Bahn hier.
Echt noch?
Ja.
Okay.
The German train, Deutsche Bahn, the company, big one, has 1,500, and after that we have 3 industries, WMAG, Ypsomed, and holding system, which had every 1,000 employees, but that's the big ones. Then you have only small villages and the hospital as well, over 1,000.
So the biggest employer is the state.
Yeah.
Would you say Schwerin is suffering because of that?
What?
Would you say Schwerin is suffering because of that?
So is it a problem? Is it a positive thing or is it a negative? You know that you have.
It's different, I think.
Is it so?
I think it's different.
Is it,
We have really no economy here. So, and of course, this is not good. There are only jobs paid by taxes. Yeah.
And Hamburg
the population,
is the closeness of Hamburg. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is the population of Schwerin decreasing or increasing?
I think we have got we have more people coming in than going out, but a lot of people die. So this is not solved in the moment.
We have to think about that. A lot of young people are studying outside and working there for some years, and then came back. I guess when they are 38 to 45, it's the most.
Well, they don't come back. So we have got no university here.
No. Yeah. That's a big issue.
They don't come back after they finish their degree.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
We are building outside where my house is. It's a city part. It's called Friedrichsthal, and there you have some new house building projects where you accelerate the building system for more citizens there. But they moving out from the normal big house flat system to own house systems, like because they are more wealthy actually, and then they want to have their own houses, and they're coming back. That's what in my part actually a lot of happened, because last year we got over 800 new citizens in my place and built up 400 houses or 350. So it is that gap actually. Went out to 18 to another city, studying there, working there, coming back when you have the family.
But
and
compared to the standard of living in Germany.
Sorry again, please.
Compared to the standard of living in Germany, where is Schwerin? Like in the lower, in the middle, in the upper class?
Middle class.
Depending on the income or depending on what?
The income, yes.
Middle class.
What are the salaries?
I'm middle class.
To live? Are the salaries here okay to live, or is they low?
Yeah, it depends. It is governmental salaries.
No, we're talking about business, let's say. Government is clear, it's standard.
Then you are lower paid for in a free market actually.
Perhaps this is your question. There is a gap in the salaries to Western Germany, of course. I think 20% or so.
Yeah, something like that.
The pay gap.
Pay gap. Yeah.
Young people prefer to go to Berlin, to Hamburg, to richer cities where they
Yeah,
can
so
find job.
I think that is a great theme here. We have to get good Fachkräfte,
Workers, employees, special employees.
special employees, which has got some special education. We need, of course, such kind of people here.
And what is do you have a strategy? I mean, in Schwerin or as a local NGO, kind of, you are a key person to attract back, I mean, to compete with all these major cities in like Berlin or Hamburg or the rest of it. What do you?
I think we've made some, in my opinion, some mistakes in the last years. So we go on old people as kind of tourists. I think tourists are the main Zielgruppe,
Target.
the main target group to get inhabitants, to get citizens here. So, and we have, I think in the last years, the marketing and tourism was perhaps for older people, but we need younger people with education, with laptop, with getting the work with you.
So would you say Schwerin is suffering because you don't have a university?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're from Osijek, and Osijek
Suffering.
is really
So I've got no employees here. So we have got one privately run academy for graphic design. They are here for 2 years. Then they go to Hamburg or Berlin or Leipzig, and that is why I have got only my wages. In the moment, I have got 3 fixed employees and 6, 7 on our pay per hour, and they go after half a year when they finish their school, when they finish their education here. And this isn't good here. So you can really establish an employment.
Is there talk about opening a university here?
Yeah, it is, but I think we have in Germany this federal system.
Yeah.
So we are here in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. We have only, I think, a little bit over 1 million inhabitants. So this is so less. So we have got a university in Greifswald, we have got a university in Rostock, we have got a lot of higher education kind of universities on the smaller cities. So we have got no money to establish one here. But it is I think, the only capital in Germany which has no university, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And maybe it's a compromise in Hungary. We are the world champions in being,
Hallo.
Ich wollte dich nur fragen, ob klar geht morgen. Ich habe dir eine Nachricht geschickt.
Ja, habe ich gesehen.
Wir kommen alle, ja? Du hattest es angeboten.
Ja, es wird auf jeden Fall ein Schlüssel da sein. Ob ich da bin, weiß ich noch nicht.
Doch, nein, du musst ja teilnehmen, du bist ja wichtig.
Ich habe aber, ja, okay.
Wir sehen uns.
Ja.
Ciao.
I beg your pardon.
So we are world champions in many things,
Yeah.
including establishing universities in villages and small towns, because it sounds great.
Okay.
Everyone needs a chancellor, it's good salary, and you can prove to your citizens that you are somebody. So what happens in Hungary sometimes is that you have a faculty from a major university in a smaller town. Would it be a possibility here as well to maybe have a partnership
I
with
think so. Yeah.
Berlin or Hamburg, whatever, and you have a faculty of law or medicine or whatever?
So, for instance, we have got a kind of university in Wismar. This is 40 kilometers away from here, and they have got the architecture faculty there, and you can make some programs with them in the semester or so. To say we have got a lot of, the city is a kind of, from Eastern Europe, kind of departed between the older city center and a younger kind of suburbs or outskirts. And in these suburbs we have got a lot of empty flats, and there you can start, I think, a kind of project for architecture students or something like this. But I think that would be a possibility.
What about? Sorry.
No, you go.
What about the immigrants? Are they welcome?
The what? The immigrants?
Are they welcome here? Are they coming here? Or
What is welcome? I think we are in East Germany, and this is your question between East and West. For East Germany, we have got the most immigrants, but it is really less than in similar cities in West Germany.
They prefer to go to
How many?
I don't know for sure. I think it's 8 or 10% of the inhabitants with an migrant background. Yeah, but you don't see them here. You see them in the outskirts. They're only living there.
So they don't integrate into the society here?
No, they're not.
And they are new immigrants, like since 2015, or old ones? Since the 60s, both.
It's both. We have, I want to say, traditionally a lot of German immigrants with German roots from Russia, from the Ukraine, or something like this. But we have a lot of new immigrants too. So give me a second.
We understood only just there were some people of Russian origin, so so they are
we have got a big Russian community here, but they are not. They are often with German roots.
They are
so they can come in.
Yeah.
From
So this is
East
because
Prussia?
of being in East Germany, right?
Pardon?
This is because of
No,
being...
it's Russia. It's history.
Oh.
Yeah.
It dates back. It's Germany. It's much further back between the two.
And which part of Russia are they coming from? From East Prussia? From Preußen? Or from the Volga region?
The Russians with German root, I think, they are persecuted from Stalin to the Siberia. I don't know where they come from now. I think from Siberia.
The most, I guess, or which is today Kyrgyzstan or perhaps the way of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. They were the most fluent in the Soviet system. We have to think about that. Germany got 3 waves of different culture refugees for employee systems. We got it before the Second World War, after we had a high inflation, and then the golden 20s, 1920, 1924, where we had a lot of Italy, perhaps of Slovakia as well, workers, Croatia, some from the completely Balkan system there
from Hungary as well.
Hungary as well. There was the first wave which had a huge impact because on this time the popularity was like 45-46 million in Germany, but the workers are like their part they stayed here would be over 2 million in that case. Then you have, after the Second World War, you got a lot of building up system from Turkey, which had a huge impact, Albania as well, and a lot of
Yugoslavia.
Again, yeah, there was a huge impact that why this multicultural thinking impacted more and increased more here. And then now you have the third wave, 2015, where we got over 2.5 million from the Arabic states, and now over 1 million from Ukraine as well. And yeah, so.
But if you said that they are not integrated into society, that they live in the outskirts, won't be this a problem in the future? That they will build their own cities and there will be Schwerin here and there will be something else outside of Schwerin?
Yeah, yes, of course.
So, okay, we recognize it, and what do we do?
Me?
No, I mean, but in general,
I try to employ some refugees.
Okay, not personally you, but in how do you see, you know, what the city is trying to do? How, because in, let's say, in 10 years, it will be a problem.
Of course.
It's
so
not that far away.
First of all, I think it is a question for the whole country. So for the whole European community, of course. So how does migration work is not clear at the moment, I think. So with a lot of problems behind. But here for us, I think it is for us as a city, I think it is not possible to get in this refugee camps. So we have to build smaller ones, and we have got, I think, it has to be, but it is not possible for us as a city. We need, I think, a kind of law or rule which included some. You have when you are here, you have to do that. When you're in Germany, you have to learn German.
I would like to introduce ourselves and maybe you also. I am Asim. I come from Syria 2015, and since 2015 I live in Šverin and I work in the education ministry. I am also volunteer in the organization Miteinander Ma'an, that the organization which is together means Miteinander Ma'an are words in Arabic and in German for together, and we work. Thank you very much. Hello. We make many cultural and education projects in Šverin. So that's about me.
Let me give you the chair.
Yeah, okay, my name is Klaus Oellerking. It's a little bit complicated, the family name, but the easy way is Klaus. I'm one of the German fellows. I'm a member of the same organization. We founded in 2016, and we are one of the NGOs running this entity here. In general, I'm retired, but I'm still working. And one part of my job is writing for our local newspaper here in Šverin. Okay?
And I'm Rene Brown. I'm from Ecuador, and I make the coffee and the tea.
and many more, much more.
Yeah, I work with these guys. I'm also a member of Ma'an, and I'm here part-time, and I coordinate the project as much as I can with the events and just keeping it tidy. And yeah. Oh, well, I'm the youngest member of our association, and as I said, I'm from Ecuador, and I've been living here in Mecklenburg since 2017.
Okay, we are going to introduce ourselves, but let me just give a brief presentation who we are in general terms and why we are here actually. My name is Miklos Varavash, and my organization, European House from Budapest, is the coordinator of this project, because this is a project supported by the European Union, by the European Commission, and idea behind is that we know how important communication is in our lives. So consequently, whom you see here sitting around this table are communicators in different fields from 5 countries of Central and Eastern Europe: Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and Croatia. They will introduce themselves, the friends, and we are the coordinators of this project. The project has actually two distinctive elements with one common element, namely cohesion policy. Cohesion policy is an important part of EU policy. It explains, I think, the essence of the whole, let's say, interest and notion of the policy, namely how to bring together through cohesion, bringing together different, let's say, regions and countries of Europe. The 27 member states, which are obviously very different, but there must be certain common elements in it, and we are looking for these common elements. These countries, 5 countries represented here, we came from countries who receive funding basically from the European Union, taxpayers' money. And there are other countries what we are going to visit, obviously Germany, because we are making a round trip. Okay. Here we started with Germany, then we proceed to Denmark, and then it will be followed by the Netherlands, the Dutch people, and then later we will pay also a visit to Italy. So it means that these are seemingly very different countries, but at the same time we think that there are some common elements, and we are looking for these common elements, how to be, let's say, active citizens in a European setting, regardless whether you were born here in one of the member states or you came from countries outside. So one of the characteristic features of this whole project is that we are not going and visiting capitals or big cities, because these places are relatively well known and dominating the narrative, the agenda. So our strange idea from the very beginning was, and this is why those who decided in the Commission, the European Union, that it's a good project, because we saw that, listen, we are going and visit places which are not very frequently, which are not in the spotlight, which are not very frequently visited by official delegations and so on. And as we discovered already this morning when we had a very interesting discussion, meeting local people and talking to them how they feel about being, let's say, citizens. And Schwerin is a very special place, I would say, partly from a German, but also from a European perspective. And here I'm not going into details, but when we came, and I saw some posters also, that we had the German Unity Day just last week, a week ago or so. So what does it mean for someone being a German citizen to, let's say, to celebrate or to address issues of German unity? On top of it, how this whole thing looks from a non-German perspective. So this is why I'm very pleased that you are here and ready to receive our group and enter into a discussion, because, and here, let me stop here and note, because first of all I would like to our colleagues here to introduce themselves, but what we would like to see also talking to you in an absolutely informal, non-conventional way, to have an informal discussion and to see how you feel yourself and what here in Germany, not only in Germany in general, but in Schwerin, how you, why you came here, how you managed to. Schwerin is obviously not a place where you start thinking, I don't know, in Ecuador, in Venezuela or Mexico, should I go to Europe? Well, okay, Germany is on my political map, okay, but where to go in Germany? Should I go to Schwerin? Yes, it's a good idea. And then, but to know how you got here, I mean, it's also and how you feel. Do you feel at home here? But this is something that we can discuss. And once again, thank you for your readiness to receive our group, and as you will see, it's an open-minded group, so we are not waiting for some official declarations or speeches, but as indicated by your, let's say, hospitality, it's a good and encouraging arrangement. So perhaps
I would like to introduce you to the place, if you like to.
Good idea. Yes.
Some brief information. I don't know whether you got any information about the capital of Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania. We have about 100,000 inhabitants, a little bit less than that. Our town lost more than 30,000 inhabitants since 1989. So many people living in not the outskirts, but not in the town center, but it's around the town center, left since that time. Many of them went to other places around Schwerin, and others left to other places in mainly Western Germany, in the not former GDR, but in the Federal Republic. So Schwerin is still suffering a bit of that loss of people, although there is almost no industrial workspaces in the area. So the main provider for work is administration. The largest provider for work is the hospital, with more than 700 people working there. And we have other more or less small entities and enterprises, but there is nothing we are famous for. Like other cities are famous for a certain industry, like for instance Wolfsburg is famous for VW, for Volkswagen, and other places, but you don't have anything like this here. So luckily, in the late 80s, early 90s, the parliament decided to bring the parliament and the capital of this area of Germany to Schwerin. Otherwise, it probably would have been quite different, because this administration or the secretaries or the ministries are bringing quite a lot of people and money. And money especially means for construction, for renovation. So if you have a chance to go to the internet and maybe YouTube and go in and point in Schwerin 1990 or something like that, you can see some small videos, some videos showing the place 30 years ago. It was quite different. So if you have a chance to get an idea about that time, I would recommend to do that. As you have been in the city today, what is your estimation? How many different nations do you think are living in this town?
It's either very slow or either very huge number, if you ask this question. So I don't like 100.
Yeah, you are a journalist, yeah, you know.
100?
Wait. 28.
28.
59.
Okay. Let's say 28 is the average estimation people are doing when I'm asking them. But you are right. It is more than 100 nations living in this town, according to the statistics. And the statistic starts when it is at least 3 people from one country. So if, like, people from Ecuador are not more than 3, they are not in the statistics, so he's not here. So if you look into the details, it's 120 different nations, which is a huge number, and almost nobody knows it. Because many of these people are not visible. If you are walking through the streets and you see this guy, you would not mention there is someone coming from like 10,000 miles away. Yeah, you see it maybe with a guy like him. Yeah? Yeah, because of his different kind of hair and his dark eyes and people like that.
I am from that
and to pretend he's from Italy, yeah, maybe. But you know, this is from my side of journalism. This is a very interesting thing, that there are things happening in a town which almost nobody is aware about. So what we did was we had a series where we introduced 100 people from 100 different countries on a one-page in our newspapers. So we did that since 2019. We started in 19, and then you have to define the people, and you have to convince them to be public and be seen. And there is something which is really interesting about that. And I guess you know that as being local or journalists in the local areas. If people like to see people, people like to hear about people. They are interested in other stuff as well, but they are interested in their stories, in their destinies, in what happened. And you know, this is something which I think local journalism has to do, to bring people together in one or the other way. But in the moment when you can have the chance to break that barrier, and this is a very individual thing, that changes. I remember when I was in Canada one time, and I don't know what happened, but someone talked, I shared a joke, I don't remember that. And there was a Canadian lady, she was looking at me like, the Germans have humor. She never experienced a German before laughing, maybe, you know. They have only these movies with like, yeah? But we have humor, we have heart.
Yeah. You have a good heart, and I will tell you also from my experience, I came like refugee in 2015 to Schwerin, and I never heard about Schwerin. In Syria. The only thing which I heard about Mecklenburg-Vorpommern was Hansa Rostock, that's a football club. They were in the first Liga. And I came here and I got the chance to stay here because I met the Minister?
The Ministry of Interior.
Ministry of Interior from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, and I worked 1 year for him. Therefore, I stayed in Schwerin. I didn't want to stay here. I wanted to go to North Rhine-Westphalia because I have friends there. And after many months, I noticed, okay, that's my city. I would like to stay here. I wanted to go to Berlin or Hamburg. I like this city. Klaus are right. If you get to have contact with the people, you will win them. But some people have stereotypes because they didn't meet people from Syria or from elsewhere. And therefore, it's the idea of International House to have this place where people can meet, can talk, can speak about many topics. Klaus mentioned the Spanish weeks or the Ukrainian weeks, and we plan now the Arabic week where we want to invite some people who will read something about the Arabic culture and to make this place, we can keep. We would like to discuss with people. That's our goal here. And now there are many problems about the theme integration because some things which happened in Germany. Therefore, it's necessary to have this place. It's necessary to stay to speak with people, to invite them, to show them, okay, there are many people or some people who make bad things, but not all people do that. That's our goal here.
Because in the morning we had a discussion on this, integration of refugees coming here, and I understand absolutely, and I like very much the concept of your house, what you are running. But we had this question in the morning whether, yes, you open the door to Germans, let's say to locals, to get to know you. But the other issue is that all those who are coming here, are they open also to German?
I would like to, also the Arabic people or Syrian people have stereotypes.
Yeah.
Therefore, that was the example from Klaus, from other friend who came here but not really came here. That's also difficult. Therefore, I am also, from my experience, it is about work. Because I worked immediately, I have connection with people, I met people, the people met me, and they know about me. Therefore, it was really easy for me to come in Schwerin. It's still difficult because I think about Syria, I think about the war, I think about our region. Today, I should only read about news, but I have here my work, I have here my friends, I can go to visit them in my private time. That's difficult for some people, some other peoples. At first, they tried to do that, but after 2-3 years, not more. They are now in a specific area here in Schwerin, and they have connection to each other, but not to the German people. And that's a difficult in this topic. Yes, and I was in Hungary also. I have not a very good experience, sorry, because on my way I was in the jail in Hungary about 2 weeks in Szeged.
In Szeged.
Szeged, yes.
So you came on the Balkan route?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
And
but it was before, in
2015. And they sent me again to Serbia, to Belgrade, and I tried again about Hungary.
But it was that time we already had the fence when you came, or it was before?
No, not yet.
Because we built the fence later, yeah.
Yes, and I would like to visit Hungary again because I still have in my mind, okay, that's not the country which I want to visit.
Yeah. No, but it's very sad for us,
yes,
you know, that this is the image, and I absolutely understand.
Yes.
I think it's an
sorry.
It's okay. Look, go ahead.
No, look, please.
I think it's an issue in society in general right now that people are becoming very individualistic, and we're losing community. So all community that we have is online. So I think it's great what you're doing here, because I don't think we have something like this in Osijek.
Kind of, but it's not that deeply integrated into the OSI community. They collected in Akavastic.
Okay, yeah, but we don't...
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's similar.
We don't have, I don't think, at least I don't have in Osijek at all a sense of community.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing here is great. What would you say was the biggest issue in starting this project?
Money.
Money?
Yeah.
That's the number
one.
Yeah,
this is money. Money makes the world go round, you know. Yeah. So, our NGO was founded in 2016.
Yes.
And we founded this organization with quite a lot of people from Syria, Afghanistan, and other countries. And the aim of the organization, which we call Miteinander, together, was to enable the people coming from other countries to do their own thing and to articulate their own interests. So this was when we started. And at that time, we had nothing, really nothing. We had the table at my place at home, where we started with the whole thing. But if you're getting out, you need some money for the website, you need this, you need that, you need some furniture, you need this. So money is a big issue. There is no active resistance against us from political side, no active, but passive. Yeah, passive. If we are coming with some request, for instance, we came in 2022 with something which is very important in other cities and was easy to maintain, which is called a Migrantenbeirat, which is something like what is a Beirat?
A council.
A council, yeah, a council from for migrants. So we have about, let's say, 8,000 people here in our town who are not German citizens. Many of them are working. They are paying taxes. They are paying social security. They are paying rent for sure, and they are not somehow integrated in any political decision-making processes. So you find in Rostock or other cities, you find these kinds of migrants councils, and we suggested that to our town parliament, and it's still pending. Yeah, there is this obstacle, there is that obstacle, and there is this group who would like to, and it takes years. Now, it may be that we are going in a road with a dead end, because after the last local elections, the largest part of the parliament is taken by the German Alternative for Germany, yeah, by AfD. So, and we cannot expect that they are supporting things like this. So honestly, and it's an informal meeting, I'm waiting for the moment when they question the finances of this place. When they start to question what we are doing here. If it makes sense, if it is supporting Germany, if it is supporting this and that. And then you get in trouble.
But what happened when, because you said, for several years you had nothing, and then somehow you managed to have the funds for these 9 months.
Yeah.
What happened that moment? Why did the state or whoever decided?
Yeah, this is a result of years of work. So what we are doing since 2016, we always try to be public with that. We never hide it. So we started with swimming courses for children. So we taught more than 300 or 400 children how to swim. And this is something which went public. We started something which was very unique. We started a so-called Sunday school. The only thing which is important was Sunday, because it was a mother language school for people speaking Arabic. To make sure that the young people do not lose their roots. And we went public. This was in the local TV. This was in the local newspapers. There were people who always say, they first have to learn German. Forget about that one. Yeah? This is not important. But what else did we have?
So I just to say goodbye. I need to go because of work, but it was very nice sharing some time.
Thank you.
And have a nice evening. We'll be fun.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Maybe. See you next time.
Then we have cooperations with other organizations. So we have cooperation with our local state theater. So we are having concerts. Then we started something very nice in 2016. We call it Dance of Cultures on the 30th of April. In Germany you have the tradition that many people are celebrating the evening of the 30th of April to have some beer and stuff like that and go on the 1st of May for some working class demonstration. Yes. So we started with this event, and we had this event until Corona, no? Yeah. And things like that. And we are going public, and we are going to the parliament. We are writing letters. We are doing this and that. So when it comes to the people who are decision makers, they know us, and they know that we are doing quite a good job. And that they know that if it comes to the case, it can be very loud and very ugly.
But does it mean that the House could, looking at the situation, let's say from the town council perspective, would it mean that the House is the voice of those, let's say, non-Germans representing those who are here?
Not yet.
Because the point is that imagine the ideal situation, what you mentioned, that you will have the possibility to set up some kind of representation vis-a-vis the town council. Is there, let's say, the necessary level of political maturity among those circles to reach an agreement? They would say that, okay, fine, we invite you, but then under the condition that you reach an agreement among those communities, non-German communities. What is your take? Can you expect that you organize a meeting for all those, open meeting, and then that would be an agreement?
We tried to do that. We tried that, and we had meetings with different there are some other organizations which are mainly focusing on certain nationality or a certain way of believing or things like that. But we try to get them on it at the same table. But what you always have in these situations is enviness, mistrust. Yeah? So I'm working completely, since 2016, I'm working completely voluntary, unpaid. I've never got one single euro for nothing.
That's your mistake.
This is my, you know, but the interesting thing is, there are people out there who badmouthing, yeah? Who are telling that I pay my visits to other countries by the money of this organization. They never ask me. But they estimate, or they, how do you say that?
Assume. Assume?
Yeah, assume.
Yeah.
And immediately started rumors. Yeah? Things like that. And then you have that every time and everywhere.
What is behind? I mean, the thing.
Yeah.
What is your real motivation?
They're misleading.
What's his goal?
Mistreating. Yeah. And you know, the only thing we can do is to be as public as possible.
Yeah.
You mentioned you have no direct opposition from politicians.
Yeah.
Do you have direct opposition from the people?
No, we have them. We know that, and we do have resentments against us among the politicians as well. But there is no one standing in front of the door. We were never really facing any violence, things like that. This never ever happened to an organization. Maybe to an individual somewhere. But this is something which takes place everywhere in the world. Yeah. So this is not really an issue. No.
We would like to say something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But basically, education comes up as learning. It's a learning exercise, lifelong learning exercise to realize that we are, human beings. It's a big discovery.
Yes.
We are not monkeys. We used to be monkeys, but we're a special kind of monkeys or animals. And it's a paradox that we live in the 21st century, and it's a new dark age, in many respects. Especially because time and space are, it's a global village, as they normally say, and you press a button, you have a portable computer. There used to be a computer with this capacity, used to fill 2 blocks of flats, So, and it takes, just even less than a second to be in touch with Sydney or the moon. Yet, and we see the images. We all seen African people. It's not the Middle Ages. At that time, when Columbus, by mistake, discovered America, he was surprised to see those different faces. But now we are familiar with your faces. Yet we just don't understand that you represent a different culture, and so. The international house that you created could have a different name as well. It could be a world, I put down a world community college, a world Volkshochschule, a global Volkshochschule. It's not just a European house, it's a world community because 120 nations, 120 cultures, and you're educating the world about Germany, about each other, and you're educating the Germans. To open up, so it's a great idea.
I would share one evening on one of the Wednesday evenings at 6 o'clock, when the people are coming to this idea of communication. It's not a language course, but it's communication. So one day we asked them which topic should we talk about, and someone suggested marriage, how to marry, and then we had like 4 tables. 4 to 5 people at each table from different countries. And I remember the table over there. There was a guy from Egypt who is a doctor. There were 2 ladies from the Ukraine. One was a history teacher, and the other one I don't remember. There was a young guy from Turkey who is doing an apprenticeship as an electrician, and there was a guy from China who unfortunately left the town because he didn't find an appropriate language course. And these 5 people were drawing a paper, how to marry in my country. People, we had so much fun when they started to present how different it is. That in one country they are drinking themselves to death, in other countries they don't drink alcohol, any alcohol at the celebration, and things like that. How to find a woman or how to find a man, and all these different habits. And we had so much fun exchanging all these different experiences. Where can you do that? Where can you have that? From my point of view, the same people who are not coming here, they are jumping on the plane and they are flying to Egypt, they are flying to Morocco, they are flying to somewhere. But they never got in touch with the people there. They go to the hotel, they like the sun, and they like the food maybe.
Touristic.
But this is a completely different thing if you are sharing the same kitchen. And they pay a lot of money to see people with to go to Tanzania and see dark-skinned people. But you can go to the tram. They are here.
But here, Tanzania comes to us. We can say that. The whole world. And that's our goal. Yes.
So we are very, very happy that we have this place and that we can offer all these different things. And it's still a challenge. But we are in general, we are positive.
I just wanted to ask, because I just talked too much maybe about these comments, but really the questions that I have in mind is that networking, basically, is that you said that it's important to reach out and to engage the communities that make up this region and the town. And there are different levels of, potential partnerships. So starting maybe from below, kindergarten, schools, the secondary schools, the universities, not here because there is no university, but in the region, the diplomatic community,
I think it could be an idea too, because all what you say I really like. I'm at home. I'm involved in very similar initiatives. But I remember when I was really young. I'm still very young. I was involved in another project. It was with Italy, and it was a school. It was I remember the title was "The School for Everyone." And it was a little bit, we created, for each of the involved countries, we created language books, but because it was originally it was an Italian idea, that they figured out that all the language books in Italy are designed for Italians, basically. So we started to make a new language book for outsiders who were not educated in Italy. So learning Italian or Spanish or all the languages we work for from the perspective of a person who was not born and raised in Italy, because it's always Carlo who is meeting, I don't know, Julia, and then they go together to have coffee, but it's not obvious. So this is what I'm asking, just that, do you plan to have, or is there an idea at this stage, because you already have, let's say, 7 years, or altogether, 7 years of existence, to have contacts within the EU with other organizations, or you're not thinking yet, you're not there yet, because you think local?
Before I answer your question, I would like to talk about the languages. When we started these language courses in Arabic, basic Arabic things, there was not only one goal, teaching the young people that, after this war in the former Yugoslavia, we had refugees in the town where I was living that time, who lived there for about 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. And then they had to go back. They were forced to go back. And there were young people who were fluently in German, who learned English in school, but they were not able to read a single road sign at their home and so-called home country. And this is ridiculous. So we really try to avoid that. And, which was interesting as well, among the refugees who came that time, were teachers. You know, if you are an electrician, I don't care what language you are talking about, you are speaking. I hire you immediately because you have some skills. And I can send you in the construction and you can work. But sorry, if you are an art teacher from Syria speaking perfect Arabic, what should I do with you? There's no use for them. But the people who came, the people that came that time, they were very well known in their community. Yeah. They were very important persons in their villages. Yes. They were the teachers.
In the families.
In the families. And here, all of a sudden, they were less than nobody. Because they were not able to go to work as a cleaner. It was horrible. So we tried to have a place where at that time the Arabic-speaking community could meet, where the teachers could teach and find their role under different circumstances. Some of them during that time found jobs in other places. Yeah? People who were very willing to leave and to go and stuff like that. Others ended, let me put it that way, in the mosque, praying for a better future but not acting. This is a bit harsh, but I hope you don't get me wrong, but this is something which happens as well. Not only with Muslims, it happens with other people from other beliefs as well in other areas. So we are very open to establish, whenever we can, another branch for Spanish, another branch for Kurdish, for Bulgarian language, Hungarian language. So if you find a teacher, the children are there. We have people from Lithuania in the country. They are bringing the children to Hamburg to learn Lithuanian language. We have people from Japan who are bringing the people to other places to learn Japanese. Yeah. So why should they do that if the resources are here? Yeah. So, but you have to establish something.
This Arabic school was a common place for many Arabic people, and I noticed now we had at this time about 5 rooms. Now we have only 2, and we have this place not more for our meetings. It was necessary that I every Sunday went to this school to meet the teachers, to meet the friends, and some families came to us, asked about their children, asked about some papers. That's now not, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. And we noticed that the Arabic community is not easy to involve now. We tried that, but it's not easy, like in 2015 and 2016, because we don't have this place more.
Yeah, we had the Corona. Corona was something which was...
It was really difficult.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult period.
Yes.
We tried to have online lessons for the children and stuff like that. But you know, if some families are sitting with things like this, with 4 children in front of a smartphone, it doesn't work. So it was awful. But coming back to your question, yes, we are very open-minded, and we are very open to cooperations with other European countries as well. Our limitation are the volunteers. Yeah. I don't know how it is in your area, but we in Germany, wherever you go, have difficulties in finding volunteers for almost everything. It is. There are few exceptions. One exception is the voluntary fire workers. Yeah, young people would like to go there at the age of 5 and 6, so they are really attracted. But when they, especially in places like Schwerin, when they reach a certain age, they leave the town for work, for study, and they drop out of voluntary activities. So we have always a lack of, how do you call the people at the lakes, the rescue people working at swimming places. How do you call them? Lifeguards. Thank you. Yeah. So we have a lack of lifeguards. So, for instance, In places like this, you have difficulties to find volunteers, and it may be a question of individualization as well, who are really willing to commit themselves for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But I think also the issue with volunteering is, this is the perception from my family, this is my personal example. We're in a cost of living crisis everywhere, everything's expensive, people don't have enough money, and then people see volunteer work as a waste of time. And like my family, I volunteered at an art festival, and when I told my dad, he was like, wow, you're like, volunteering is only for rich people.
This is stupid.
I know, I agree that it's stupid, but it's a mindset people have.
I can definitely, I don't know if it's maybe it's an Eastern European thing, because volunteering isn't really that big of a thing here. I volunteer for the Red Cross. I started this year, and my parents were like, "Okay, man, you're going to university. You're gonna have to do some stuff. You're going to put food on the table, you know."
They think it's especially older generations, like our parents. They think it's a waste of time.
But I don't know this because you started. I mean, that's really strikes me, you know, because you had. I mean, we had more projects in the southern part of Germany, in Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, and there it's quite, I mean, it's very general that especially people who are retiring, after retirement, immediately they find some kind of association or something to join because they want to do, yes, they don't want to do everyday work, so go to the working place, but they want to do something good for society, something useful.
But it depends also on your financial situation.
Yes, it might be that in Baden-Württemberg, in Bavaria, I mean, yes, it's the average income or the, I mean, it's a little bit better, but in Hamburg, definitely not, because Hamburg is a rich city. So anyway, it's just,
you know, maybe I put it too much in a general manner. We have volunteers. Many of our services are based on volunteer work. This is incredibly important in our society, of course. And there is certain areas where they are lacking volunteers.
Yes.
And you know, my own experience, to be honest, is to commit yourself for years. I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah, I do that. The reality, but the reality is different. But you know, people don't want to be responsible for 3 years or 4 years, or maybe responsible for finances of an NGO.
Yes,
finances is always a challenge. Yeah, you have to deal with the financial authorities and all that stuff. You're always like, it's crazy. And people really like to be spontaneous. They would like to come for a festival and then leave. They would like to come for this and that and leave. And if they don't want to come, they don't come. But commitment, if you do something like this, you need people with commitment.
Yes.
So we had times when we overloaded ourselves. We had and still have so many ideas we really like to realize. And I don't know, it was 2018 or 19 when we realized
the garden.
Yeah, this is something we had. This was one of my favorite projects. We discovered that almost every country, I don't know which country is not around that, but they like gardening. They are raising fruits and vegetables all over the world. And it's easy to get in touch with someone talking about apples or cucumbers or tomatoes. So we started a garden, a public garden, where people from different countries could garden together. And we had that for a couple of years. And then, you know, some of the people discovered that it's easy to rent a garden in our area. It's common to have these, we call them Kleingarten, small gardens like 300 square meters, and people are doing some gardening. So they rent their own garden. And then we had Corona. And during that Corona time, the garden was paradise.
Yes.
We could meet there. We could talk there. We could be active there. It was great.
It was available.
Yeah. It was available. It was there. Corona stopped. All these restrictions were gone. And the people left. So we had 2 spring times when the tomatoes, the small tomatoes, dried. Because no one was willing to to water them, to take care, to go, to look after them. And then after the second time we offered the garden to a Syrian family who is still there. But you know, these are the things which happens, which occurs, and you have to accept that.
Yes. These are the daily realities.
Yes.
These are the daily
We had with
realities.
animal shelters this, that, I don't know, in Hungary a lot of people during Corona, they wanted to have they wanted to have a dog because according to the law, the local law, you could walk your dog. And then it was over, and then they didn't want to keep the dogs anymore. So that was an issue, with the animal shelters, that they wanted to drop the dogs.
You want to, and I have some comments. You can start.
Well, this whole concept of being volunteers and these voluntary services is the Eastern European countries or the post-communist countries or whatever you call them have this trauma, this deficit in the 20th century that they forgot. The societies were forced to forget the voluntary grassroots initiatives. It was systematically destroyed. It's happening again under the new regime, some of the new regimes, including Hungary. So that the paradox is that, or still is, that you have to be a volunteer. It is compulsory.
Oh, okay.
It's like the FDJ used to be here in East Germany. And that unless you join the Communist Youth League, you don't get a degree. Full stop.
Yeah.
And that's made the society sick and tired, quite rightly. But now we are free. By definition, somehow there is a big difference between liberty and freedom. You have two words, and maybe there is no liberty, but there is freedom. But maybe we don't have either. But that's a philosophical thing. But at least we have two words for love in Hungarian. It's szeretet and szerelem. So it opens up new opportunities. Anyway, when it comes to this voluntary sector, then you have to re-educate. You have to re-educate people. You have to convince the mindset in this, and to some extent in Western Europe as well, that it's worse. It's a health issue, mental health issue, but also a physical health issue. Now, if you belong to a association or a voluntary thing, or you have communities, you look after your fellow citizens or your fellow countrymen or your family, you live longer. It's statistically proven. It's better than medicine. So the best medicine is you, basically, in society. But the question that I really like to address here is that almost everyone around the table is a journalist or some kind of an expert of communication, teachers and / journalists, etc. The importance of media and the partnership of media. We had a chat with Dario last night, with a nice beer, which we hope to repeat today. Is that the partnership, between the media and your NGO is very. I would be very interested anyway, and I'm sure that our friends as well. How do you have a partnership, and if so, can you build on that partnership? What do you expect from each other, the media from the NGO and vice versa?
I'm interested in his answer as well, but I started working as an author for our local newspaper during the period since 2017. So I was a teacher, I was a principal in school. I did quite a lot of different jobs, but I'm not a journalist. I love to write and love to make some research since my childhood, but I never done it as a professional. And at that time, I offered to our local newspaper, and we do have only one really printed newspaper,